Good evening, fans, and welcome to one of the most special nights we do on an annual basis here at Trenton Thunder Ballpark. Tonight, we welcome our hometown heroes. I am pleased to be joined on the field tonight by a group of men and women who do great work in our community and have been nominated by you for this ceremony tonight. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Spencer's Savings Bank, for their dedication to our community and their continued support of Trenton Thunder Baseball and our Hometown Heroes Night. I'm now excited to be joined on field by Todd Young, Financial Center Manager of Spencer Savings Bank. Thank you, Todd. It is now our honor to introduce our hometown heroes. Our first honoree is Mr. Larry Parks. Larry is the proud father of 4 sons and 1 girl and is a country boy from Seaboard, North Carolina. He moved to his hometown of Trenton, New Jersey at the age of 16 and enlisted in the 70s to honor and protect our country. Although he's been retired since 2004, his heart will always remain with his comrades and the citizens of our country because true service never ends. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Larry Parks. Next up is Mr. Brian Riley. Brian is a hard-working, team-oriented individual who always puts the needs of the team first. He never complains and is always willing to go above and beyond for small and large-scale incidents. For these reasons, the Willingboro Police Department felt compelled to nominate Firefighter Riley as a hometown hero. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian Riley. Our next honoree is Officer Christina Bieri. Officer Bieri has been a police officer since 2015 and is currently assigned as a school resource officer. Officer Bieri is a member of the Community Resource Bureau, the Bicycle Patrol Unit, and a field hunter and a field training officer. When she isn't at work, Officer Bieri is likely chasing her 4-year-old son, Hunter, and 3-year-old daughter, Cameron, while watching her 12-year-old stepson, Ryder, hit home runs. Officer Bieri also enjoys spending time with friends and family and going for long walks with her children, dog, and husband, Ryan. Ladies and gentlemen, Officer Christina Bieri. Next is Mr. Albert Sylvester. Al served in the Navy from 1954 to 1962, where he was a cable layer in the USS Thor. Once he left the Navy, he resided in his hometown of Croydon, PA, where he raised his family and volunteered at his local firehouse. Al dedicated many years to his local firehouse. He is currently the oldest living fireman at Croydon Firehouse, and Al loves watching the Phillies, going to Disney, and spending time with his children, grandchildren, and 12 great-grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Albert Sylvester. Our next honoree is Mr. Richard Rogers. Born and raised on Staten Island, New York, Rick enlisted in the Army in 1968 after 1 year of college and served in the Army Artillery 25th Infantry until 1971. While in Vietnam, Rick was wounded, saving the life of a fellow officer. He received 2 Army commendations and many other honors. Rick was married for 44 years and has 3 children and 5 grandchildren. He is a life member of the VFW Post 1597 in Croydon, Pennsylvania, and enjoys gardening, golfing, and playing longboard. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Rogers. Next is Mr. Leonard Pope. Leonard is a disabled veteran from Vietnam. Leonard worked for the City of Trenton, Department of Public Safety, and assigned to the Civil Defense Police Garage, the Borough of Police and Fire Communications, and Fire Department Repair Shop. He's a member of Capital City Heavy Rescue Squad and Liberty Rescue Squad for over 20 years in the City of Trenton. Leonard became a proud member of Signal 22 Volunteer Canteen from 1996 until today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Leonard Pope. Our next honoree is Mrs. Natalie Nelson. Natalie is the Chief Executive Officer and President of Women's Space Incorporated. Founded in 1978, Women's Space's mission is to prevent abuse, protect families, and change lives through empowerment and a safety net of supportive services such as crisis intervention, emergency shelter, and 24/7 hotlines, counseling, court advocacy, and housing services. Since becoming CEO in 2022, she has led the agency through pivotal anti-racist initiatives. She has overseen several key departments and programs and most underserved populations in Mercer County. Every year, Women's Space serves over 11,000 individuals whose lives have been impacted by interpersonal violence. Ladies and gentlemen, bring your hands together for Mrs. Natalie Nelson. Next, we'd like to recognize Mr. Keith Stahl. Keith retired as a sergeant with the Bordentown Township PD in February of this year. Prior, he served with the Pemberton Township Police Department and the New Jersey Department of Corrections before becoming a cop. He proudly served as a sergeant in the USMC and was a diesel mechanic. He was a field training officer, head of the bike unit, and a defensive tactics instructor. He continuously mentored young officers and was active with the Bordentown Township Police Charity Fund, which raised money for the local community. He was recently promoted to Purple Belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and still teaches DT at the Mercer County Police Academy in his spare time. Sergeant Stahl is married with 2 adult children and is eager to spend more quality time with them in his retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Mr. Keith Stahl tonight, his daughters Emma and Julie Stahl. Our next honoree is Mr. Benjamin Mastridge. Ben served in the U.S. Army as a part of the Air Defense Artillery from 1965 to 1966. He was a member of the 25th Infantry, 2nd Battalion, and 9th Artillery. He was wounded in Pleiku, Vietnam, and was taken by a chopper to a MASH unit for multiple procedures to save his foot. He received the Purple Heart, the Good Conduct Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal, the Vietnam Campaign Medal, and the Cross of Gallantry as a unit citation. Ben also received the PA Commendation Medal from Adjunct Major General Wesley Craig on May 4th, 2011. He's held the position of State Commander with the Veterans of Foreign Wars in 2010 and 2011, along with many other positions on state and local levels. Ben has been a dedicated, lifelong Philadelphia Phillies fan. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Benjamin Mastridge. Next, we have Mr. Louis Frank Pickett. Frank completed U.S. Army basic training in 1960 at Fort Gordon, Georgia, and was selected to attend the United States Army Artillery and Missile School at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Upon graduation, Frank was assigned to Fort Benning, Georgia, to an infantry training support unit. In September of 1960, he received orders for his first overseas assignment to the Republic of Panama, the Canal Zone, where he became an expert in jungle warfare. This training was ever so helpful because after Panama, he served 9 years in other overseas assignments in Vietnam, Germany, and South Korea. He retired from active duty with the U.S. Army in 1981. Frank continued to serve our country by becoming a logistics strategy planner in Panama, which organized peacekeeping initiatives, counter-drug operations, and humanitarian assistance worldwide. In his free time, Frank loves restoring classic cars, traveling, gardening, watching old movies, and playing the lottery. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Louis Frank Pickett. Our next honoree is Mr. Jim Taylor. Jim Taylor served with WM Penn Fire Department in Humeville, Pennsylvania. Before joining, he served Lower Southampton Fire Department in many capacities as both a fire officer and administration. He is currently serving as Chief Engineer. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Taylor. Next, we have Chief John Fine. Chief Fine is a 23-year veteran of the City of Burlington Police Department. He is a police academy instructor and executive board member of the FBI National Academy Associates, New Jersey chapter, and an adjunct professor at Rowan University. He is a proud baseball coach at Doane Academy and of the West Jersey Rebels Baseball Club. He is married and has 2 wonderful children. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief John Fine. Our next honoree is Officer Stephen Arnold. Officer Arnold began his career in law enforcement at the Mercer County Corrections Facility in 2014. He and his sister Chelsea Arnold were hired by the Ewing Police Department together in September of 2018. Officer Arnold has been working in patrol for 6 years and is currently assigned to the traffic unit on Platoon 4. He and his wife Danielle have been happily married for 1 year. The two are expecting their first child with a due date of September 15th, 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, Officer Stephen Arnold. Next, we'd like to recognize Miss Rosita Jackson. Miss Jackson currently serves as the Senior Vice Commander and Bar Chairman of American Legion Post 336 of Burlington, New Jersey. While being a dedicated member of Post 336, she has served in various positions including Junior Vice Commander, Historian, and Entertainment Committee, of which she served as the Coordinator for Community Events to include the Easter Egg Hunt, Christmas Party, Halloween Party, Backpack Drive for Youth, and Coat Drive for Adults and Youth. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Rosita Jackson. Next, we have Mr. Cody Chrissinger. Cody has been married for about 8 years and has 2 beautiful kids. This July, he will have been on active duty for 12 years and a firefighter for 17 years. His favorite thing to do is spend time with his family. He also loves to fish and hunt. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cody Chrissinger. Next, we'd like to recognize Mr. Robert Bob Tracy. After working for many years as an auto mechanic for one of the local Ford dealers, Bob took the reins in 1996 as commander of American Legion Post 834 in Fallsington, PA. For over the next 21 years as a commander, he played a critical role in the success attained by Post 834. It was through his dedication, foresight, and competent leadership that Post 834 achieved such outstanding results in serving our veterans. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Robert Tracy. Our next honoree is Chief Brett Evans. Chief Evans has been the Chief of Police of the Edgewater Park Township Police Department since April of 2022. He began his career in 1995 and rose through the ranks. He has been active in the community in which he serves and resides. Chief Evans has coached football and mentored young people along the way. He is currently the lead singer of the band Nobody's Business. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Brett Evans. Next, we have Sergeant Adam Leota. Sergeant Leota started his law enforcement career in 2012 as a special law enforcement for the Borough of Belmar. Sergeant Leota previously worked for the Old Bridge Township Police Department and in Englishtown Police Department before being hired with the Hopewell Township Police Department in 2018. Sergeant Leota was transferred into the Detective Bureau in 2020 and promoted to Sergeant in 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, Sergeant Adam Leota. Our next hometown hero is Detective Dan Dascoli. Dan started his law enforcement career as a SLEO 2 police officer in the city of Wildwood in 2019. He continued his employment as a police officer. He was hired as a full-time officer with the men and women of the Allentown Borough Police Department in Monmouth County. In 2021, Dan joined the Pennington Borough Police Department and served his community, and through his years of service, rose to the rank of detective. Dan serves his agency well and is currently as a field training officer as well, assigned to handle all juvenile investigations and oversees the internal affairs function of his agency. Ladies and gentlemen, Detective Dan Descoli. Our last honoree this evening is Sergeant Kristen Rinkowski. Kristen is a sergeant at the College of New Jersey Police Department. She is she's certified by the New Jersey State Police as a crime scene investigator and has worked large-scale criminal investigation on a Mercer County task force. She is known for her community policing, including working the annual New Jersey Special Olympics each year. Kristen is supported by her biggest fans, her husband Patrick, son PJ, daughter Amelia, sister Jen, and her parents. Ladies and gentlemen, Sergeant Kristen Rinkowski. And last but not least, we honor Officer Carlos Nahara. Officer Nahara joined the Hanover Township Police Department in 2021. Carlos was raised in Essex County and attended Montclair State University, where he obtained a bachelor's degree in history education. Before joining the HTPD, Carlos served as a police officer in Essex County for 3 years. Today, Carlos is assigned to the Patrol Division, where he finds fulfillment in protecting and serving the community and making a positive difference in people's lives. Carlos enjoys watching sports and spending time with his family, friends, and pets during his time off. Ladies and gentlemen, Officer Carlos Nahara. Thunder fans, let's hear it for all of our hometown heroes. The Thunder and Spencer Savings Bank thank you for your service to our community, and we invite you to meet our heroes and get your card set signed right behind the press box on the home plate side of the concourse. Thank you so much and have a great time tonight. Enjoy the game one final time for our hometown heroes.